In this video, we're going to cover the normal trajectory for a Facebook ad campaign, just so that you can figure out what to expect, what's normal, and what you can look forward to. Hi everybody, my name's Meredith. I'm the creative director at Biddyco, and we help e-commerce companies scale their paid traffic. So, let's get into it. So contrary to popular belief, Facebook and Google ads are not a magic ATM where you just hit a button and all of a sudden cash comes spewing out. That would be unbelievably thrilling, and our jobs would probably be obsolete because anybody could run Facebook ads. So yes, sometimes you turn campaigns on and you are wildly shocked at how quickly they pick up, but those are very far and few between, and most long-standing, sustainable, successful campaigns take a lot of time, effort, optimizations in order to really dial it in and get things grooving. We have helped dozens of brands, e-commerce brands specifically, raise their ad spends, grow their revenues, and add to their bottom lines. And we are going to tell you what is a normal trajectory that we've seen over the course of the last 5 years. So before we get into this, I just want to remind you that this life cycle and trajectory is going to be speaking to brands that are in the beginning stages of Facebook campaigns. So your brand's not necessarily new, but maybe you're just getting started, you're starting to dabble, you don't really know what you're doing, but you are going to know what to expect after watching this video. Okay, now we'll get into it. Typically in those first couple weeks to the first month, you're going to be starting out slow, and I want you to hang in there. It can be rough, but you have to have patience. Again, this is not a magic ATM. So you're probably spending a couple $100s a day. You're probably not anywhere near hitting your return on ad spend or your projected CPA or your KPI, and that's okay. That is 100% normal and typical. I would say that a large majority of our clients, the first couple weeks, we're not seeing, we're seeing about 50% of what the goals are. So if they're looking to get a 2x or a 3x, we're looking at a 1x or a 1.5x. And that's okay. Like we said, there are going to be times where somebody, shoots straight out of the gate and you are going to be absolutely floored, but that is the exception, not the rule. So if it is, within the first couple weeks, anywhere from the first month, month and a half, it's going to be slow going, and that's okay. You are well within the normal range of what's to be expected. Phase 2 is all about stabilizing. And so what I mean by this is you want to stabilize your return on ad spend, and we suggest this at a low scale spend. So what does this mean? This means that you are chipping away at your KPI. You are trying to work to get to your expected CPA, to get a return on ad spend that feels really good, and you're maybe spending less than $1,000 a day still. Again, that's okay. Keep chipping away. Keep testing different ad variations. Keep testing different segmentations, different creatives. What I do want to say is where phase 1 is going to test your patience, phase 2 is going to test your faith that this is going to work, because you are going to see wild fluctuations all day long. This is when I would probably advise don't look daily if you can stomach that. You're going to want to look at your weekly overview rather than daily, because again, it is going to be a wild ride. Hang in there. You're doing great. Phase 3, it's time to scale. Scale it on up. Don't go too fast, but you can be a lot more aggressive. So at this point, you're probably looking to spend around $1,000, $2,000 a day. If you're hitting your KPI, if you're hitting your, return on ad spend, if you're hitting your CPA, don't scale until you can get it working at a low ad spend. For obvious reasons, you don't want to just start throwing money down the drain in the hopes that scaling is going to help. It usually will not. So again, this is the time to scale. There's a more aggressive scale that's coming, but the wind should be at your back at this point. If you're spending around, again, $1,000 to $2,000 a day and you're hitting your KPI, you're ready to go. Real quick though, before we move on, you're probably like, Meredith, how long does that take? What's the average timeline for that? I almost forgot to tell you. And typically it's around 4 to 8 weeks. Obviously every account's gonna look different. So if this doesn't happen to you until week 12, please hang in there. It's okay. Sometimes, we've seen this happen as late as week 16. If by week 16, though, you're not really seeing the ability to scale, then there's a much bigger problem going on with your account, with your site, with your product. That's for a whole nother video. But again, that's the time frame that you should be looking at. The last and final phase, the life cycle that we hope is never ending. I don't want it to end after this one, but this is when you start really, really scaling. Now, here's the thing. When you really start to scale, unfortunately, you are probably going to see your return on ad spend lower. That's okay. That's 100% normal. When you're spending over $100,000 a month, you're not going to see the same return on ad spend that you were when you were spending $30,000 a month. It's just not what happens. However, you should be making a lot more because of the volume. If you're not, again, there's something wrong. I don't know how to fix that for you just in this video, but now is the time to aggressively scale, really, really look at your campaigns in terms of volume, in terms of how many units you're moving. Again, you want to be hitting, a KPI that's still comfortable, that makes you profitable. But at scale, you are going to have to see some of those early numbers go away. However, you should still be making quite a bit of money. And again, at this life cycle stage, I don't want to see this end for you. I hope this is never ending and your bottom line just continues to grow. Really quickly, to recap before I go, again, this is the life cycle and trajectory of Facebook ad campaigns if you are just getting started or in the early stages of campaigns on Facebook. So, number one, it's going to start slow. Hang in there. Number two, it's going to get a little wild and you're going to need to stabilize it. Number three, now's the time to start scaling. And number four is really, really scale. Scale it up, but remember, return on ad spend is going to get slightly lowered. And that's okay because you should be doing way more in volume. So I hope this was helpful. I hope this helps you feel like you now have some type of frame of reference to guide your campaigns from. If you have any other questions or after watching this, you're like, you know what? The life cycle and trajectory of my ads never looked like that. I couldn't get past stage 1. I couldn't get past stage 2. Call us. We are pros at getting people to phase 4, and we would love to help you get there. That's all I've got for today. And if you liked this, please pass this along, like our video, share the video, whatever you can do to a video, just, that's positive. Anyways, I will see you guys back next week with something advertising and e-commerce related. And until then, I hope you have a good one.